Alright guys, what is going on today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going over the new Boruto opening number 11 and I'm going to deep dive into this thing. So everything I talk about in this video is my opinion and how I see things in this opening. But the main topics of this opening are going to focus on Boruto and Kawaki and how their characters grew from the beginning of the series. And I want to say that opening 10 is way more superior to this opening, as opening 10 was aesthetically better. The animation and everything looked way better in opening 10 in my opinion. So let's get on into this. So the first important scene is the leaf scene with Boruto. This panel has given me many different thoughts behind it. Let's dive into it. First, let's look what the leaf represents. The green leaf has many different meanings to it. It can mean hope, revival, renewal, and a dead leaf can represent decay and sadness. In Japanese, the green leaf represents inexperience. Now we know what the leaf means, let's break it down. The main idea is the jougan. The jougan was said to be the star of hope by Toneri. So if we look at the leaf symbolizes hope. The leaf being on the jougan foreshadows that Boruto's eye is the hope against eventual destruction, which is depicted by the hole in the center of the leaf, as a dead leaf means decay and sadness. So they hint us by showing the leaf on his eye, and this implies that he will save everybody from eventual destruction. The second idea is that the leaf represents Boruto's eye and the hole represents that he will eventually get his eye cut. We do know he gets his eye cut in the future, but they purposely focus on his right eye, as that is the eye that will get cut. So they could be foreshadowing that the hole in the center of the leaf is actually Boruto's eye being cut, and the leaf is his eye. Now the third idea is that the leaf represents the hidden leaf village and the hole represents its destruction. Now there are two ways to look at this. One being that Boruto is the one who causes the destruction of the leaf by destroying the village to save it from Ida, Kawaki, and the cyborgs who live in it. So him looking through the ripped leaf means he will destroy it to save everybody. The second idea goes back to the hope idea. The leaf representing the hidden leaf village gets saved by the jougan, which is the star of hope. Hence why they show us a ripped leaf and having the jougan look through it. The hole is the destruction and the eye looking through it is the savior. I mean, it's obvious when you talk about a leaf, it implies a hidden leaf village, right? So now the fourth idea. Now this one is a callback to Madara, as he did do the same thing as Boruto and put the leaf over his eye. But guess who became the strongest person in Shippuden? That's right, Madara. This scene being a callback to Madara is implying a few things. One, Boruto will be the strongest like Madara. Two, Boruto will either change the world for the better or the worse like Madara. Three, it means that Boruto will have to take on a role where he will have to fight everyone for the sake of his goal. Just like how Madara had to fight everyone to accomplish his goals, the same could be applied to Boruto. Four, Boruto will start a war just like Madara, and this war will involve the destruction of the leaf village. Hence why they give us Madara and Boruto having the similar pose. And Madara was the antagonist who actually caused a lot of destruction in Naruto. So it could be implying that Boruto might turn out like Madara. Now the fifth idea, Boruto's death. Boruto will die by Kawaki, hence them showing us the leaf. The leaf means revival. So when Boruto dies, he will be revived, but he won't remain the same, which is what the hole represents. It means that Boruto won't be himself anymore when he revives, which is true as Momoshiki's DNA is 82% in Boruto, which resulted in Boruto becoming a new Otsutsuki. This brings me to my last point of this meaning behind the leaf. Someone is watching Boruto through his right eye. In this case, that is correct that Momoshiki is watching Boruto through his right eye, as we know that when Momoshiki takes over, Boruto's right eye gets transformed into a Byakugan. So they are hinting that someone is peeking through a window, which is the hole in the leaf, so that they can see what is going on. This is further backed by why only the karma hand is grabbing and moving the leaf, as the karma is purposely shown, so we get the idea that the person behind the leaf is Momoshiki. Now we move on to the next part of the opening, which is the symbolism behind Boruto and Kawaki in this scene. The first scene is of Kawaki and we see that he is alone. This implies that he has no one and no one at all. He thinks of himself as a loner with no friends or anything. This brings me to the second scene, which is of Boruto, and in this scene we see Boruto looking at the TV screens as he watches everyone that is close to him, like Naruto, his family, friends, and even Sasuke. The thing between these two scenes is that one shows that Kawaki has nothing, while the other shows that Boruto has everything. But as we know, Boruto will eventually lose everything that he sees on the screen, and he will become like Kawaki, who has no one and nothing. But what I really see is that Kawaki has no one because he doesn't trust anyone except Naruto, which brings me to this next scene. We see Kawaki looking at Naruto. Him looking at Naruto means that Naruto is his light at the end of the tunnel, which opening 9 shows us. Kawaki staring at Naruto's face means he wants to become like Naruto, who is like him, that had nothing but made everything. So that is what I see from these scenes. The one shows he has nothing and the other has everything, but the other will eventually lose everything and the other will gain everything. Which is true though, Kawaki has been slowly gaining everything that Boruto has. He's gained his friends, he's gained his family, He's gained the village, gained the rank, all that stuff, and Boruto will be the one to lose it all. Now, before I get on into the juicy stuff, this scene right here when Sarada touches Boruto's shoulder, that instantly implies the trust between the two. If you watch the show carefully, Sarada and Boruto always grab each other's arms or shoulders. This is a hint of them being too close to each other by invading each other's personal space. No person likes their personal space being invaded, but with these two it's different, especially when their faces get close to each other every other time, or even when they get too close to each other, they're always in each other's personal spaces. It just screams a different level of trust than anyone in the series. I like to call this a BoruSara moment. Now, you guys remember this scene? Yeah, I know, it hurts. But this scene here is telling us Boruto stabs Sasuke's eye, and the bullseye marks the kunai hitting his Rinnegan. Now, but in real talks though, this scene shows the training between Boruto and Sasuke, hence why they give us all the shurikens and the kunais and shit. It's an implication that Sasuke is Boruto's master and he trains him. Now the juicy stuff begins, and when I mean juicy, I mean the wettest, dirtiest, greasiest stuff you can imagine. First, we start off with Boruto fighting everyone. They purposely chose this scene as Boruto fake fights or play fights with all his friends, and if you notice, these are the manga friends and not the anime friends that are shown. So I think the foreshadow here is that Boruto will eventually have to fight his closest friends, and those closest friends are in the manga because this will become a manga panel eventually in the future. But when Boruto does fight them, he will fight them only when Momoshiki spawns, which I think will happen when they're either on a mission or it'll happen when he's in the village, and his friends will have to take on Momoshiki to get Boruto back. I think this is a hint towards that. Now this goes to my previous idea that I was just talking about, where I said Ida will get Boruto kicked out of the village if she takes it over due to her abilities. So her taking control of everyone could mean that she may make Boruto's friends fight him, and this may lead Boruto to leave the village and possibly destroy it in the future so that he can save everyone from her. This scene could very well be a future foreshadow to a fight amongst close friends, and if you notice, these are the manga friends he'll have to fight, as the other anime friends excluding Sumire are not in the manga. So it's possible this may be a future chapter right here. Now with regards to Boruto fighting everyone, notice how Sarada is the last one he fights. I think they are foreshadowing a future fight between two lovers, and this will relate to episode 225 when Sasuke gave Sarada the mission to take down Boruto if he transforms. So Sarada being the last one he fights, it could be implied that she will be the last person he fights during this code actuation arc, and this will bring him back from Momoshiki's control. This may also hint at her getting the third tomo, since Sarada will be really emotional when she has to fight the boy she loves and deeply cares about. She will not be able to kill him, but rather the third tomo awakening will help her bring him back. So it might give her some sort of power boost, or might put Boruto under a genjutsu to break him out of Momoshiki's control. Now the cherry on the cake that happens during the scene between Boruto and Sarada. To me, it looks like they're dancing with each other. Their eyes make contact and lock on with each other. Even the body language during this fight between Boruto and Sarada looks different than those he just fought before her. It looks more like a dance as it zooms in on Boruto looking at Sarada in the eyes. It could be a hint of romance between the two, especially with her staring at his blue eyes when it cuts out. And we know that Sarada is known for looking at Boruto's blue eyes, as according to the novels. She is always watching them, and the anime depicts that quite a bit. We also know that Boruto knows that Sarada is watching him, and so he wants to act cool in front of her. So this scene right here is actually showing us the closeness between Boruto and Sarada, and her being the last one to fight him implies that she will be the one to set him straight, as they purposely zoom in on his blue eyes, and she is locked on into his eyes and he's locked onto her eyes. Now moving on, we get a shot here of Momoshiki and Boruto, and from the looks of it, Momoshiki crushes Boruto, which he then opens his hand and empties it. This is telling us that Boruto will be overtaken by Momoshiki and he will eventually cease to exist, which is why when he grabs Boruto and then opens his hand, Boruto is gone and disappears. So this is a good hint that Boruto will cease to exist in the future if Momoshiki keeps taking over him. Okay, this is it. This was the greasy shit I was talking about earlier. This is the cherry on the cake being eaten first. BoruShiki vs KawaShiki. We finally got a glimpse of the code arc coming soon. This fight was the turning point of the arc, and from the looks of it, the creators are teasing us with it. We waited a whole year for this and we're finally getting a hint of it. Even though the arc is going to be shown in 2023, they're teasing us hard right now, especially the anime only fans who don't even know this arc yet. But getting on, this fight shows us the battle between Momoshiki, who's using Boruto's body, and Kawaki, who is using Ishiki's abilities. We also get to see Ishiki's eyes that shrink things. So this tells me that chapter 56 to 59 will probably get animated during the code actuation arc, as we need to see Amado talking more to Kawaki, and we need to see chapter 58 happen, as Kawaki will realize he is weak without the karma when he tries to fight Team 7. So this could be hinting that they will give us some chapters in this upcoming arc before the code arc happens, as we need some interactions before they start chapter 60 and 61. And if this follows the Deepa arc, it'll be similar to the prison arc, where they showed some manga chapters and then they switched over into anime canon and then back into manga material. So it could be similar to that. Now the inner layers of the cake, we see the development of Boruto take place. We are purposely given multiple panels that show the struggles Boruto had to go through to get where he is now. The many panels include Boruto in the academy days, Boruto making the Rasengan for the first time while being trained by Sasuke, Boruto wearing Naruto's OG jacket before fighting Momoshiki. We also get to see the father-son on moment between Boruto and Naruto helping Boruto make the Odama Rasengan that took out Momoshiki. We then got panels of Boruto saving Sasuke. Now this is where it gets interesting, which is BoruShiki's first transformation. What I want to note here is that Boruto was pushing through at this precise moment. He screams when Naruto helps him make the Odama Rasengan, which is Boruto's biggest mistake because he got the karma out of it. And then he keeps on running and screaming as he suffered a lot from Momoshiki, and his facial expression gives it away. So they're trying to imply that Boruto has gone through a lot of suffering and development since the beginning of the Chunin exams. Now the last few panels are the best of them all. They're showing us the moments of episode 219-220 when Boruto couldn't fall asleep and Naruto reassured him that nothing will happen to him while he's around. So what I think is Boruto needed this reassurance as he was suffering after the Ishiki battle, especially after he stabbed Sasuke's Rinnegan out. It hurts him knowing that he did that to his master, but he now sees that he can hurt anybody at that point. So he needed to hear from someone that he will be okay, which is why he then falls asleep in Naruto's arm when Naruto tells him, "You'll be alright, don't worry, I'm here to protect you." So while that panel is shown, we are given Boruto's character screaming and running through. It again implies that his character is being developed as he keeps on pushing through. So at that moment, Boruto hit a wall, and when he fell asleep in Naruto's arm, he got through the wall of him eventually ceasing to exist because he was scared that Momoshiki will take over. Now, this final panel is the most important of this panel scene. It shows Boruto breaking off Momoshiki's horn. Now, I think this means that Boruto won't let Momoshiki have his way, which is true, as in chapter 65-66, Boruto tells Kawaki to kill him since he's a threat now that Momoshiki has taken control of him. This also being the final panel after the Naruto hug, it also implies that Boruto won't stop pushing forward and will do everything he can to stop Momoshiki. Him breaking off the horn is basically telling us that he won't let Momoshiki do whatever he wants to do, which is good in my opinion, to be honest, because then it shows Boruto's struggles and how he was scared of having Momoshiki take control of him, and then Boruto flips the tables on him and then he takes control of Momoshiki, especially when he uses Momoshiki's powers in chapter 63, 64, 65. Now, before I move on to the next stuff, I just want to talk about this real quick. We see an interesting panel here that only Naruto saw, and that is Kurama's death. Here we see Kurama fisting Naruto. Kind of weird they put this for where Boruto is, as he didn't see these events, only Naruto did. So it's kind of weird to me and how they're trying to show that panel, but Boruto never witnessed it. But that is it for all the important stuff. Now we're gonna get on to the crumbs of the cake. So with the rest of this opening, we saw many different panels, many different images, and this image I liked. This image here, we see baby Boruto, and you can see how cute he looks along with Himawari. The one thing that kind of gets me in this scene is Hinata's shirt. Why is she wearing the same shirt that she wears now? I'm confused at that. Like, bro, they could have gave her a better outfit, but nah, they gave her this dirty ass outfit, whatever the Ross hole it is. Though in the next picture, when Boruto and Himawari are a bit more older, I think Boruto's maybe around 7-8 years old and Himawari's maybe 5 to 6 years old. Hinata's shirt is then changed, so that looks understandable. I think that might be more of the outfit she wore at the end credits of the last movie. So then getting on, we see panels of the academy class, in which most of these students are never seen again. All those people you see there, we never see most of those people ever again, except all the current teams. We then get the infamous panda bear thing. That thing was shown in the first pages of the manga and was shown during the ending of the Boruto movie, so I think that is a nice call out to that. We then get to see Kawaki's character growth as we see him with flashbacks of Jigen beating his ass. So this opening expands more on Kawaki's character as well and how Kawaki grew over the series, since he was introduced around episode 189, and from that point till now we've seen his character change a lot, since he was a bit more ruthless and cold-hearted when we first saw him, but now he's different. So then getting on, we see Kawaki eating the teriyaki along all the friends he's made. Well, they're not his friends exactly, but the friends that his brother made that eventually became his. Now this one panel gets me in this opening. This one picture has all the filler characters that are in the anime, except Sumire, though she was a filler character until they introduced her in chapter 17 to 19. But other than that, all these characters have no impact on the story at all, alright? No matter what happens to them, the story will keep going on. And as I said, that excludes Sumire. And if you notice, Inochi, Shikida, and Chocho aren't there, because they aren't filler characters, they're actual real manga characters. That's the difference between them and the people in the picture. And as I was saying before, when Boruto has to fight all his friends, there's a reason why Shikida, Inoji, and Chocho are there, because it might be a foreshadow that Boruto's gonna have to fight his manga canon friends if shit hits the fan in the future. Now getting towards the ending of the opening, we got some nice pics of all the old gens chilling together, and I like how they actually gave us some pics, as we barely ever seen the old gens interact much. They're always hidden away when shit hits the fan, so I find this really wholesome. So looking at the next panels, we see Konohamaru and the squad drinking, and we finally get to see the goddess Hanabi after a very long time. And I want to see her interactions with Boruto, because it kind of pisses me off that she was really worried about Boruto and her telling Boruto that he can talk to her anytime with anything. He never talks to her ever again after episode 8-9. Like, he only talked to her here and there, but he has never opened up about his karma, his jougan, anything like that ever again. That actually bothers me so much. Though I'm happy that we finally see Hanabi, and hopefully she has some more screen time in this upcoming arc, and I hope that her and Boruto Boruto actually have a talk again. We also get to see Kakashi and Guy. So I think the reason it gave us all the old gens and the new teachers is because they will be making an appearance in the upcoming arc. What I mean by that is we'll finally see some of them in this upcoming arc. As we know that in episode 260, Kakashi's with Boruto. So this could be a hint that everybody shown in this opening will possibly be involved in this future arc. But as I was saying before, I really missed Hanabi. I liked it when Boruto was still new and everything was a mystery. It kept it more entertaining and it made you think what would happen next. This was the case back in episode 8 and 9 when Boruto went to his grandfather's house and fought Hanabi. But now they don't even show episodes like that anymore. It pisses me off, not gonna lie. Like, I want to see more stuff like that involves a character and it actually deep dives into the character itself, because that whole Jougan arc was actually interesting and how Boruto was so lost with the Jougan and they're actually explaining more about it and even diving into it. But then all of a sudden after the new arc, the Jougan just gone. Never seen, never heard of again, bro. Not even mentioned. So I liked it back in the beginning when everything was a mystery and it made you question what was gonna happen next. But because of where we are now in the anime, it doesn't feel like that anymore. I don't feel the hype, or I don't feel the feeling that something intense is gonna happen next episode. None of that stuff happens. It doesn't feel the same as back then. Now this scene here was really heartwarming when Naruto brings Kawaki and Boruto home. It just goes to show you that Kawaki has a loving family that cares for him now. So I really like that moment. Then getting on, we see the 5 Kages, which is a shout out back to Naruto Shippuden, and we've seen the same panel in the Shippuden opening but with the previous Kages, except Gaara. Gaara was the only one in the previous opening. We also see Sasuke eating by himself, though it looks like he's enjoying the food that either Sakura or Sarada made. So I like that scene as well, where Sasuke is actually happy. Now this last scene is really important, which is the base of the cake, it being the plate that the cake supports. Notice how the screen zooms in on Boruto's karma at the end and we see the hidden leaf symbol. This is implying that after Boruto gets taken over by Momoshiki, he'll still be a shinobi at his core. Boruto proves repeatedly that he is still a shinobi. So they are foreshadowing here that no matter what happens to Boruto, he'll always remain a shinobi at heart. That's why I think about this last scene when they zoom into his karma. And it makes sense though, even in episode 1 chapter 1, Boruto always goes back to his idea that he'll be a shinobi, since he always says, I'm still a shinobi. So them zooming into the karma and them implying that Boruto being taken over, he'll still be a shinobi no matter what. And I think that's what that leaf symbol in the middle of the black screen represents. It represents Boruto's remaining DNA. Because if you look at the whole picture is black, meaning that's Momoshiki's 82% Otsutsuki-fication. And that middle leaf symbol is Boruto, who's the last 18%. So I think they're foreshadowing to that no matter what happens, Boruto will always remain a shinobi at heart. So this is it for my opening 11 review and in-depth analysis. Everything in this is my opinion and how I see it, alright? So that is it for this. Let me know if I missed something. Let me know what you guys think as well. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos to come.